Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to meet a plant that it's about time I talked about. I couldn't resist the urge for a plant pun. There aren't that many opportunities for plant humor, so I definitely had to take it. I apologize for the groaner, as my husband calls them. So the plant we're going to be talking about today is the culinary herb thyme, botanical name Thymus vulgaris. And she tends to flower a little later than what we're experiencing now. I think it's June 5th or 6th, somewhere in around there. And she's already gone to flower. So just a heads up for anybody who is in a drought season like we are here in Southern Ontario, your flowers are going to bloom much faster. So it's really important that you pay attention if there's something that you're really needing to harvest this year. If you've got a drought, it will bloom a lot faster. So in terms of tincture, I'm going to be taking about the top 25 to 30% of the plant. If you go too far down, you're going to end up with a lot of that woody old growth, and you really don't want that in terms of making medicine. So like I said, top 25 to 30% in terms of making a tincture. And when I work with plants in clinic, I want them at the flowering stage. So this is the perfect time for me to harvest thyme. So why would you want to harvest thyme in terms of medicine? And I have a really great video on making a thyme oregano oxymel, so I'm going to post that link up there. For now, I'm going to be using it for tincture because I actually use it quite a bit in clinic. One of the areas that I really like to use it in is in digestive formulas. It's a warming carminative, so it's going to add pungency to a formula, but it's also going to support the digestive tract through its carminative action. So things like gas, indigestion, bloating, it's fantastic for that. I also really like using it for nervous system related reasons too, because this amazing culinary plant that we cook with is an antidepressant, it's an anxiolytic, it's going to help to relax the muscles in the body, and it's going to help calm the mind as well. So it's a really great herb to use for people who come see me in clinic. It's their first formula. I have to focus on digestion, but they've got a lot of nervous system support that they need as well. What a fantastic plant to use. I also really like using thyme for respiratory formulas, and it is a really great expectorant. Because of its warming properties, it's going to help to thin mucus secretions, make it easier to expel. It's also a good febrifuge, which means it's a herb that's going to help modulate fevers. When we work with plants and fevers, it's very different than sort of the pharmaceutical approach in terms of fevers. We want to modulate them because we recognize that fevers actually serve a purpose. And in terms of infection, it is a broad spectrum antimicrobial. So it's going to help with bacteria, virus, funguses, and it's even going to help with things like intestinal worms. So why wouldn't you want to use a plant like this in terms of immune support? Sorry for all the background noise. We are right along the main track to cottage country, and a lot of people like driving along this main road on their motorcycles. So that is what you heard there. And there's one thing I want to mention as well, going back to the nervous system support. This is a term that my teacher, Michael Vertoli, coined, and it was called neurovasodilator. And what it meant is these were herbs that were really quite efficient at driving blood flow to the brain. And we really like using plants like this, again, in terms of things like depression and anxiety, but also really good for people who have brain fog, poor memory, poor concentration, difficulty focusing on things. Herbs that help to draw blood to the brain are really excellent and really great support. And also, I forgot to mention, in terms of respiratory or more like immune function support, it's also a really great decongestant as well. So as with all plant-based medicine, you know, there are some toxicity or contraindications to be concerned about. Actually, in terms of Thymus vulgaris, we don't really have any toxicity, so to speak. So as I have mentioned in all of my previous Materia Medica, more monograph type videos, anytime we have a plant that has specific action, we want to be wary when using it in combination with herbs that do the same thing. So we're talking about antidepressants, anxiolytic medications, SSRIs, any mood altering medication. because of thyme's sort of affinity for the nervous system, it's really important that if you're planning on combining, that you either have a pretty good understanding of herbal medicine and pharmacological actions, or you work with a qualified herbalist. We also use this herb with caution in pregnancy, mostly because of its pungency. And again, because of its pungency, I would never use it in more than, say, 50% in a formula. I tend to like it around 20% in a formulation. So it wouldn't be a herb that I would say use as a simple by itself. The one what's the word I'm looking for? Exception. The one exception to this would be that oxymel that I posted a link for before. Because it has the honey and the apple cider vinegar component on it, it does tend to temper the heat in warming herbs like thyme. So thanks so much for taking the time to learn about this amazing plant with me. If you've got any questions, comments, or additional information you'd like to add, please comment below. If you hate my herbal puns and jokes, please don't comment below, because I love telling them and I'm not going to stop. This is Corinne from Spiraea Herbs, wishing you health and wellness.